Hello, everyone. Welcome to Saturday. Hello, Doom. How you doing? Welcome on in. Welcome on in. Burr, burr. One of these days, I really need to make a sequel to Cat Rave. It's the best. It's so good. But I hope everyone is doing well today. I'm still setting up a few things in the background here. We're testing yet another new update to Chaos Spot, so hopefully all the chats will combine correctly now. OBS is still complaining at me, but that's fine. You know what's actually funny? YouTube has been so buggy for live streamers this last week. It's actually insane. I don't know how many of you watch live streamers on YouTube regularly, but you might have noticed basically everyone's chat boxes are just wrecked. They just don't work. It's really, really interesting. I had to reload my own chat to see, or like reload YouTube Studio multiple times just so I could see my own chat. That's how like messed up YouTube is right now. But what's funny is my dumb little programs let me see chat just fine. It's really funny. So everyone else's chats are broken, but mine's working just fine. I think that's really, really funny. Yo, what's up, Cast Iron? How you doing, man? Oh, I just realized I have a few things open that I should not. That's why my computer's being a little laggy today. Jeez, I have so many of these open. There we go. Just closing a bunch of stuff behind the scenes. Hope they fix it, right? They really need to. What's up? So we're gonna do a little bit of yapping. You know, it's tradition. We gotta yap a little before we get into things. I'm good. Just finished watching the announcement for the new Kill Team edition. Nice. Val Creative, welcome on in. Ooh, what do we? You know what? Let's listen to some Pixel music today. Trick, what's up? How you doing? So, as I mentioned earlier in the week, today we're gonna be talking about Big Eye Smallmouth, which is it's a pretty interesting system. I like it quite a bit, but I have not played a ton of it, admittedly. I was a backer of its Kickstarter. I'm doing great, Trick. Thanks for asking. Yo, what's up, Drill? How you doing? How you doing? Man, we got people coming out of the woodwork today. Names I have not seen in quite a while. What's up, Zero? How you doing? How you doing? Welcome, welcome. It has been a while. I hope you've been doing well. Hope your music stuff has been going good. Oh wait, okay guys, I gotta talk about this. This is the fun. Okay, this is hilarious to me. So I was sitting there, I was watching YouTube, you know, I was you know, I've been watching a lot of D&D videos. I've been watching, you know, a bunch of other D&D content creators, right, to get inspired and things like that. And then as you guys know, one of the things I was waiting for to like really start doing a lot of fun stuff was the new D&D edition and the new Pathfinder edition to come out, right? And so the new D&D edition was sent out to a bunch of content creators early, right? And apparently those content creators have been showing the new handbook on streams, on videos and things, and Wizards of the Coast has been copy striking them. What? That's wild to me. That's like the worst, the worst strategy ever. Why would you send things to influencers to show off early and then copy strike them for showing it off early? That is actually amazing. Right, Doom? Oh my gosh, it's so bad. Oh, being on the VTuber sphere to focus on music really does things to you. True. Especially when seeing the streamers I haven't in a while, so this is like memory lane. Well, we're glad to have you, either way. But yeah, it's just, why would you send, I guess NDA, but well, so here's the thing, right? So there's a reason why I showed off a little bit of the D&D handbook, but I didn't show off too much. The only reason why I showed off a lot of the Pathfinder handbook when we did Pathfinder was because I actually emailed them and said, hey, is it okay for me to show this on stream? I'm talking about it, I'm reviewing it on stream. Like, is this gonna cause any problems? And Paizo, you know, the makers of Pathfinder, they're like, nah, that's fine. I'm like, sick, awesome. They even told me how to change it so that my name and stuff wouldn't show up on my watermark PDF, which was cool. So Paizo was really chill about it. But it's baffling to me that they would send out, like, this is a PR disaster of epic proportions. Wizards sending out free, like, advanced copies and then copy striking you for showing them. Like, what? Okay, as an influencer, as a video, oh God, I just call myself an influencer. I just died a little inside. No. Just as a YouTuber, hold on. Oh, I just got whiplash from saying that about myself. Okay. In a hypothetical scenario where you call yourself an influencer and you get product for free, right? Most companies would want you to show that off. Like, for example, Oshipush, the card game that I'm partnered with, when they send me stuff, I am going to open it on stream because, you know, we're partnered. They're sending it to me for free, or, you know, even if they're not sending it to me for free, if they're just sending me what I bought early so I can show it off on stream early, like, I'm gonna show it all off. If they then copy strike me, that, like, what? That is just such a PR disaster. It makes anyone who wants to talk about your game, your system, anything, it makes them scared to show anything. And as you guys know, as viewers, if I can't show you stuff, it's kind of boring. You don't want to just sit there and listen to someone talk about things. You want at least some sort of visuals to go along with whatever video or stream is going on, right? It just doesn't make sense. Wizards, so full disclosure, I have not really been in the D&D sphere or back in the D&D sphere for a while, right? So I know, you know, WotC has done a lot of really weird stuff over the years, but it hasn't affected me, so I haven't really paid that much attention to it. But this one was just, this one is so baffling. I cannot believe they would do that. Now, supposedly they've already walked it back and stuff like that. They've already walked it back. But I don't know. Is it an auto copyright? No, it almost certainly they would have to be manually copyright claiming them, because I doubt that Wizards of the Coast even would upload their book into the YouTube copyright system. That sounds, I don't even know how an AI would fully detect that. That would be really difficult. Music is a bop? Yeah, it is. We're not actually listening to Cat Records today. We're listening to Stream Beats. Though I will say, guys, Cat Records has hit a very consistent listening viewer base now. We are consistently hitting 4,000 listeners a month now, which is pretty awesome. So thank you for that. It's finally getting discovered by people who aren't just, you know, you guys. which I love you guys. I love that you listen to it, but I've gotten a lot of comments and even DMs and stuff from people recently who were not in, like, they're definitely way outside the realm of people that I interact with, and they're like, hey, we've been using your copyright free music and just wanted to say thanks. I'm like, oh, that's awesome. But I don't know, it's a nice little feather in my cap, I guess. Oh gosh. Anyways, I just wanted to talk about the Wizard of the Coast thing because I'm genuinely baffled by it. That just seems like such a dumb. It's such a dumb move to make, you know? I'm always curious as to, like, now, okay, I will say, like, if it's just the lawyers doing stuff like this, that's kind of their job, is to protect copyright. But, like, whoever said, I think it was Forsaken. Yeah, Forsaken said it. But it's the left hand not talking to the right hand, right? Because there are things that you can do as a company that you definitely shouldn't do, right? Like, I work for a company that, you know, sells some stuff, and a lot of the times we are within our full rights to take down videos and or things that other people have made about us or done for us, and it'd be totally within our rights. But we're not gonna, like, we shouldn't do that. As a company, you shouldn't alienate your customer base. It's just, it's really funny. Hey, what's up, Red Delic? Also, welcome on in, Blank. How you doing? How you doing? We're just vibing for a little bit before we get into the system review, which will probably be a little shorter than the other ones today. Just because I think, I'm not entirely positive, but I'm pretty sure that this book is made by a Japanese company, which means I am not going to risk showing off the actual book to you guys, because Japanese companies are very litigious when it comes to copyright. However, they did put out a primer edition, which is like a short mini version of the book that is available for free. So I will be showing that off on stream instead, and just talking about a lot of the other things that make Big Eyes Small Mouth a very interesting system that people may or may not want to experience. Not alienating your customers by taking down fanworks. Yeah, we all know Warhammer has some opinions. Blink, you missed our whole rant about WotC sending out free books of 5th edition, the new 5th edition, to content creators, and then copy striking them for showing it on stream or videos. it's just saying that it's like they're sending them a trap, right? Like they're sending a bomb to the oh, it's so funny. WotC's so funny. Let's see, what other stuff do I want to talk about? Oh, Rayleech will actually start being produced next week, guys. Next week. At least it is on the Pinkertons again. Yeah, true. True. That was funny. Dude, WotC as a company is just so interesting because I feel like they make so much cool stuff and manage to do everything wrong. I don't understand. Like, it's just fascinating. I don't know. Yeah, we got Rayleech coming next week. A week from excuse me. A week from tomorrow? I need to double check. But I'm... Oh, I need to check a DM. I need to see if this is still happening. So a week from tomorrow, I am supposedly hosting an event. We'll see if that actually happens. They haven't talked to me in a little while, so I'm not sure if that's still happening. Oh, I also talked about this on Wednesday, but for anyone who will be at NomDescon in Colorado, I will be doing a panel there. I will also be just vibing on a TV screen at the convention, I guess. I'm not really sure. I'm not too sure what's going on there. I might just stream that because I think it's interesting. But I'm not too sure what's going on with that. I just know I'm doing a panel. I don't even know who I'm doing a panel with. I know what the panel is about and what I'm supposed to do, and I'm just gonna be there. It's gonna be great. So that'll be fun. I'll be at a different con next week. Games Con. Nice, nice. Is there anything else I want to talk about before we hop into actually talking about the system? I don't think so. No, I think we're good. I think we're good. All right, so let's go ahead and hop over into whoops, that's the wrong one. In the midst of cosplay prep. Nice. Nice. All right, guys. So today we're talking about, should you play Big Eyes Small Mouth, the anime and manga role-playing game? What is this game even about? That's a great question, Doom. So let me answer that for you. Big Eyes Small Mouth is a role-playing system that is about as anime as it can get. I think the only thing that's more anime than this is probably Anima Beyond Fantasy. Uh-oh. Wait, why did the screen... Hold on. There we go. The short stream was off by a little bit. I need to shift this over for them so they can see a little better. Perfect. Beautiful. Awesome. Wonderful. So, this system has all sorts of shenanigans tied to it, mostly based around if it exists in an anime, you can make it as a character or as a creature or as a world or anything like that. It's very versatile. It's got a lot of interesting art by a lot of various artists. However, it does have some downsides to it, and it has some things you should consider if you want to pick this up. But as a reminder, oh, who is, oh, nice. As a reminder, we're going to do a couple of things with this. We're going to, first of all, we're going to go through a list of pros and cons. Like, here's what we did for Blades in the Dark. Yes, you're going to have to read my chicken scratch, and you're just going to have to deal with it. But we've got a nice little rubric here at the end for that I can, or so that I can tell you guys, like, kind of what I think about how hard of a game is it to get into, how many player options are there, how many player tools are there, how hard is this going to be to DM, how much supplemental content. This is things like adventure paths, dungeons, basically just ready, available materials for the system. And finally, what kind of a campaign length do I think this system is built for? So first off, we're gonna go ahead and talk about some of the pros and cons. Full disclosure, I have only been able to play this system twice, I think, once, because I was a backer for the Kickstarter. I tried running it with a group once and they didn't like it. Big Eyes smallmouth. So, for context, this is the 4th edition that I am talking about, which should tell you something about the game. The fact that it survived to get 4 editions is honestly an impressive feat. This is made by oh shoot, what's the company's name? It is Discami Publishing, in conjunction with TriStat Systems, or uses the TriStat system, and Japanime Games, who, by the way, I am partnered with. I don't know if you can buy this using an affiliate link, so I don't think I have to say I'm sponsored, but it's worth noting. So just throwing that out there. I don't think I even have my affiliate link in any of my descriptions yet, because it's mostly just for Oshi Push whenever that comes out. Okay, so we're going to talk about some pros and cons. Get some nice little pros over here. I wish my tablet hadn't broken, because then at least my handwriting would be a little bit more legible than it is right now, but it's fine. I have a daunting premonition that this system attracts a certain kind of player. You're not wrong. You're not wrong. The art definitely doesn't help your case. So, okay, here's the other reason why I don't think I could get away with showing the core rulebook for this on stream. There is artwork in that book that I guarantee you YouTube would demonetize me over. Like, it's not crazy by any standard, but it's risque enough that I could see YouTube being like, no, you're gonna get demonetized for this. And I'm like, yeah, probably deserved. So you're not exactly wrong, Blink. I wish you were, but you're not. Okay, so let's talk about some pros, some cons of this system. Pros, this is one of the most flexible game systems that I have seen. It is quite literally built to be anything and everything you could possibly want out of a game. If you have a character concept at all, you can probably make it. If you have an enemy concept at all, you can probably make it. If you have a world idea, this will probably fit it. It is built with all of these things in mind. It is absolutely a power fantasy. Is the acronym supposed to be innuendo? Big eyes, small mouth? No, it's just I don't know. It's not supposed to be innuendo. I was thinking about that more, just to animate that guy main protags. Oh no, it's got both. It's got both covered. Don't you worry, Blink. Don't you worry. But okay, so it's very flexible. There's a lot of options. There is a surprising amount of supplemental content. Oh my gosh, my handwriting gets worse every time I try and do this. Well, I say handwriting, but this is with mouse, so. But yeah, so it's flexible. It's got a ton of player options, got a ton of GM options. It's got a lot of supplements. It's got a pretty decent online presence. So you can see people talking about it and stuff like that. So that's a weird question. No, you're good. You're good. Cons. Okay, there's quite a few of these. Cons. It's kind of broken in a lot of ways. And what I mean by this, I do feel like I need to clarify this. When I say broken, I mean broken in the way that when things become too flexible, it becomes almost impossible to balance. These two are kind of interconnected because there are so many options. Actually, it's connected to this one too. there are so many options and so many different ways of building a character and building a creature that balancing this becomes a nightmare. And if you do it wrong, well, guess what? This has the same problems that Anima Beyond Fantasy has. The DM workload is going to be a lot here, because since your characters can do everything, the DM has to try and plan around everything. Also, it's kind of confusing. This system packs a lot of information into a very small package of pages. And a lot of those pages are dedicated to showing you character concepts. Like there's a whole section of the book that's just folios of different types of characters that you can build, and it's like 15 to 20 pages or something like that of just different stat blocks, but which, you know, sounds great and awesome. Like it's examples of what you can do with the system, but the core rulebook is only 330 pages. When you have massive lists of skills and abilities, that becomes a very big problem when it comes to clarifying information. So you'll have these giant lists of abilities. You have pages taken up by character folios and not necessarily fully explaining the rules. It feels like it can feel unfinished at times, which means that it can get very, very confusing very quickly. And I'll show that off here in a little bit when I show off the primer, and things like that. Another problem that I think the game has is everyone. Okay, I'm gonna call it main character syndrome. Main character syndrome. Every character you make in this will have it. And again, I don't think it's bad that everyone is trying to be the main character of an anime, but there's a reason why D&D kind of works, like D&D, Pathfinder, a couple of the other fantasy type games work so well, is because the game intentionally makes it so that you're not super pinholed into every little role. Like a fighter will be good at X, Y, and Z, and a cleric can be good at, you know, E, F, and G. And when you put them together, you know, now they've got like a lot of their bases covered. The problem with this type of a game where it's so customizable and you can make the exact power fantasy you want is your main character, or you, becomes incredibly good at something and really terrible at everything else. Now, if you have a group that's built around the main character, right? Like as it is in an anime, usually the main character is awesome at doing one thing and they're not the best all-rounder. That's why they have a team. That's why they have a group. Obviously, there's some anime that just make god characters, but that's beside the point. If everyone wants to be really good at doing one thing and you put them in a group together, it's like, well, your bases aren't really covered. If you want to throw interesting and unique challenges at the group, they're all main characters. They're all really good at fighting the thing they're supposed to and all terrible at fighting the thing that they're not. And that kind of goes back into our DM workload / brokenness of when you let people make the exact power fantasy that they want, it tends to come back and bite you. So there's that. I'm gonna go ahead and add this down here. This is already kind of under options, but you can make literally anything work. So if you have always wanted to play a blind cat samurai who has a cybernetic arm and can teleport and dimensionally slash people, you could do that in this system. If you want to be a sentient slime that has corrosive acid and can use your own slime as like acid bullets to shoot, you know, shoot in a gun, you could do that. If you want to be a robot who has learned how to feel emotions and can take themselves apart and make themselves into a small robot that work as a team and fight someone as a unit. Like, you can do that. There's literally there's no limit to what you can do here. But again, that kind of freedom brings problems. Yeah, this is not beginner friendly. I will add that to this list. This is not a game I would recommend you introducing people to the wonderful world of RPGs for the first time too. And now I want to show you guys the Primer Edition. So this is the free copy. You can actually just go download this right now. This is absolutely free. I don't think they'll worry about me showing this to you. This is the Big Eyes Small Mouth fourth edition primer. This is just a small introduction to the game, and you will kind of see what this is all about. So this is the standard, what is a role-playing game, yada yada yada. We don't really care about that. Now this is an interesting, the way it tries to balance power levels is fascinating, because this is a point buy system, which means that you get a certain number of points at character creation. You can spend those points to buy abilities or features or, you know, anything like that. And it suggests a power level. So if you want your characters to feel, you know, less than human, like they're not as strong as a regular human, you can give them 0 to 24 points. If you want them to be like a normal human level, that's 25 to 49 points. Adventurer, you scale up. And there's really no limit on how high you can take these powers or things like that. As you can see, you know, human, adventurer, heroic, mythical, superhuman, superpowered, godlike. It, like any point buy system, the more points you have, the more powerful you are. And that's just true of anything. So like here is a template of what they say is a Nekojin, which is this. So they give it a combat technique, which is lightning reflexes 2. They give it features, which is appearance, cute, low light vision, and retractable claws. They give it a heightened sense for hearing. I don't remember what Mulligan does. Special movement, cat-like, wall bouncing, and 2 points for weapons / claws. And their defect they gave them is easily distracted. Things that distract cats. Now you will notice that a lot of these attributes have parentheses, meaning that you have to write in exactly what, you know, what that thing is. So for features, appearance, like cute, like you have to write all that in. Heightened senses, hearing, weapons, claws, special movement, wall bouncing. These aren't all rules defined terms, by the way. Like wall bouncing isn't necessarily defined in the rules of like you being able to jump off walls back and forth, back and forth, back and forth. That is a thing that you would have to describe to your GM. So I mean, I'm just drinking water. But all these combined together is a total of 10 points. Awesome, cool. They also made a Demon Hunter, which has an extra body stat. It has attack mastery, which means it's better at attacking. Combat technique. It makes basically like a combat technique in this system is basically, I mean, it's a technique. It's like any anime special attack, you know. And there's a whole big bunch of charts and lists and powers and points and things to make a technique. Connected means that they, you know, they're part of the demon hunting group. Defense mastery, heightened awareness. They're immutable, which means that their shape can't be changed easily. They have a bunch of items. They can do lots of damage to demons. They have a bunch of skill groups. They have more easily distracted. They have nightmares. Like, you can build basically anything in here. It's a little crazy. And then it shows you like the stat values. So if you have a stat value of 1 for something, you're basically an infant. If you have a stat value of 4, you're as average as a human. If you have an 11, it's world-class ability. One thing I've noticed about a lot of these Japanese-styled games is the stats basically let you go up to infinity, or like up to, you know, absolutely ridiculous levels, but they're all at GM interpretation, which, you know, I like, but on the same foot, your players are always going to be asking if they can do that. Like, they're gonna find a way to get their stats high enough so that they can just pick up literally anything, or move at the speed of light, or, you know, some other anime type thing. So it, you know, it's fun. It's great like that. There are only 3 stats. There's your mind, body, and soul stat. These are used for everything, which is cool. Just set costs shows that you can add your attribute. Attribute level is also another thing. Describes how good of an effect you have, or that attribute has, on what you're doing. Not a whole lot to explain there. Here's like a bunch. Okay, here's a bunch of attributes. You ready? You can be a party of isekai pro tags, but don't seem. What? Oh, you can be a, okay, I see that. You can be a party of isekai protagonists, but don't, seems to be what you're telling me. Yeah, you absolutely could. Here's just a bunch of all the different attributes you can have. As you can tell, there's a lot of them. Things like elasticity, or absorption, or alternate forms, or attack mastery, or, you know, special dynamic powers, or dimension walking, or healing, or illusion, or massive damage, or data access, or the ability to control your environment, or a sixth sense. There's literally a sixth sense in this game. To bring telepathy, and like, this isn't even all of them. There's so many more. There's so many of these attributes. Oh gosh. It could be a lot. I do not envy anyone who tries to play this as their first game. It's not gonna go well. It's gonna be it's not gonna be a good experience. Here's some more attribute shenanigans. Area, duration, potency, range, targets, unique. Oh, and here's the whole list of limiters of stuff that you can add as like negatives to your abilities. So like, oh, you have to concentrate to do this ability, or you can only do this thing in this area, or, you know, you have to be wearing this type of equipment, or maybe you need to do this thing, or maybe you have to roll a specific thing. There's just a lot of shenanigans that can go on with adding to techniques. And then here's all the defects that you can add. You can have an early boss fight that's just like a regular alley cat. Okay, not gonna lie, Blank, your idea of having like a low-level rat campaign where you're just rats in the alley and you're trying to survive, and the boss fight is a regular cat. That's amazing. That actually, you know what? That's gonna be a short. I can feel it. Thank you for that amazing idea for a campaign where you're low-level rats, you're trying to survive, and boss fights are actually just regular animals. Like, first boss is like a normal cat. Second boss is like a dog that has been trained to rat hunt. And like, as you quote-unquote level up, you're just fighting more and more regular people. Like, the ultimate final boss is like a human exterminator. The rat campaign. Oh my gosh. Wait, hold on. I might actually flesh that out. That might be the first member game. That sounds so funny. Rat game. That sounds so funny. What'd be even funnier would be if the campaign goes on for long enough to become unreasonably powerful while just still being a bunch of rats. Like, that's so good though. That's so good. Oh my gosh. The rat campaign. That honestly though, that sounds like an amazing one-shot. Like a one-shot session, right? It's just, you're gonna be a bunch of rats. Your goal is to get the cheese somehow. And you have to like outsmart a cat, a dog, and a human. Like that's perfect one-shot material. Is you're just a bunch of rats. You can give them all little gimmicks to do like shenanigans and just leave it up to the creativity of the players. Like that just sounds awesome. Okay. Anyways, freaking rat campaign. That's so good. All right, but anyways, going back to Big Eyes Small Mouth, there's a bunch of defects you can add to your characters. This can be things from like, oh, they're weak to a specific attack. They're, you know, you're fragile, you have less hit points, you suffer from a curse. I do like it when games add in these defects. The problem though is, as I've noticed many times with Anima, which is, you know, as I've mentioned before, one of my favorite games of all time. When you add in the ability to min-max things to ridiculous levels, is you get characters. Oh, I'm going to say that. When you have the option to optimize characters both in a positive and negative way to ridiculous levels, you get characters who are insanely good at one thing and very weak to a whole bunch of other stuff, and it turns the game into rocket tag of if you put a challenge in front of the player who's really good at the challenge, they'll probably beat it, but if you throw a mediocre threat at them that is really good against their weakness, they just instantly die. And players, in my experience, I have found, will always give themselves more weaknesses just so they can get that little extra power. Now, that could just be my group. I do play with power gamers. I do play with people who like to optimize the game to rather drastic levels. And I have also been on that side of the fence, by the way. But it's something I've noticed. If you give people the option to optimize themselves into having positives and negatives, they are going to do that. So, that's fun. Here's all the stat stuff. Oh, they use a system called energy. Energy is based off of your stat points. Your health points are also based off of your stats. So it's always good to have a mixture of all of your stats. However, one thing that I do think is a slight problem with this game, I don't like the fact that you roll defenses. That's just a personal thing. I know there's plenty of games where you do that. I like defenses being static, just because it's one less thing that the players can optimize into oblivion. I don't know. I think everyone tends to do that because having many strengths and weaknesses is more interesting than just having a few of both. Well, I would agree with you, Blink. I think having strengths and weaknesses is good and interesting. I think people like, for the most part, being interesting. The issue is that I think people take it a little bit too far, where they make their strengths a little too strong and their weaknesses a little too pronounced, which is fine in a storytelling setting. But if you are playing this as a game, which presumably you are, if you've made yourself too weak in certain aspects, you can accidentally die when it's not narratively fulfilling. Like, no one wants to die to a level 1 critter that just happens to hit your Achilles heel. Oh, there's my chair again. Actually, I kind of like the chair. If it didn't cover up so much stuff, I should get a mini chair. I just realized that's what I should do. No, my glasses are gone. Hold on, I gotta bring back the glasses. Get back your glasses. One less, yeah, not rolling defense means one less roll per attack. it's actually a little unreal at just how much faster that makes it. It's, you know, I think about this a lot. I think about the efficiency of combat and what it does in a game, because for a lot of people, combat is a very intrinsic part of the role-playing experience, for better or worse. Hey, what's up, Chili River? How you doing? And I think that if you can make as few rolls as possible during combat, that is usually, not always, but usually a net gain. I think that that is fair to say. Because combat, while interesting, I think the faster and the snappier you can make it keeps it interesting. Because I think anyone who's ever played games, we've all been locked into a boss fight for like an hour or 2 hours, and it's just not fun. I never want to be stuck. Now, I'm not saying that all long boss fights are bad, because you can absolutely have a nail-biting, awesome, intense, multi-hour boss battle where everyone's involved and it's back and forth and it's just going crazy. But I'm talking about the kind of boss battles where it's like, oh, I rolled, did I hit? No. Boss's turn. Oh, boss rolls, did it hit? No. Your turn. Oh, like we've all been stuck in that kind of a combat. And so I think when you add rolling defenses onto it, that just gets exacerbated, because in my opinion, rolling dice isn't usually the fun part of the game. And in fact, rolling dice more often than not is what leads to you having issues, like having not as much fun, right? Because if you're rolling bad, it doesn't matter if the combat's epic, you just feel like crap. And so what I don't want to have happen is failing a roll on an attack feels so much less. Okay, sorry, let me rephrase that. Failing a roll on a defense feels so much worse than failing an attack. And I think that failing on defensive rolls consistently it's one of the worst feelings you can have in an RPG. It's why I personally prefer systems that don't make you roll defenses. Is because if you're having a bad day, if you're rolling bad and you roll bad on a defense and you die because of it, you just feel terrible. It's not the boss got lucky and hit me, it's I rolled bad and died. And I know it's like it's a small mental shift, but I think it's one that's important enough to realize and to put a kind of assign a mental / emotional value to. It's just rough. If anyone here disagrees with that statement, please let me know. I would like to know if you disagree with that. Rolling dice can feel great, but only if the players feel like the roll actually matters. See, that's why I'm a bigger fan of roll less dice, but make the rolls matter more. Like, for example, something I've wanted to start doing in my Pathfinder games is knowledge checks are kind of a big thing. Anyone who's played Pathfinder knows that, like, you're constantly rolling knowledge to try and figure out X, Y, and Z. And sometimes it feels like if you fail a knowledge check, you've just lost access to a portion of the campaign. I'm not a big fan of that. I think knowledge checks or skill checks or things should be things that should be made only when there is a consequence for failure. Or if it could speed up a particular activity, right? Like, let's say we need to research a way to, kill Cthulhu. Someone has a really high knowledge about history and aberrations and stuff. So they roll and they fail. Okay, well, that just means that they have to actually go and do the research. They could have found the solution faster if they had passed the role, but failure isn't necessarily a closed off, nope, you can't do this anymore. It just means now you're spending more time, which depending on the campaign is a resource you have to spend. What is Big Eye Small Mouth? It's an anime role-playing game, which is what we're talking about. Well, we were talking about, now we're talking about games and stuff. Yeah, anime the game. So I like roles to have consequences. I like rolling less dice. I think that one of the more fun ways of role-playing personally is... Oh, did chat break? No, chat, I thought I fixed you. Oh, Chaos Bot broke. Oh, good lord. Chaos Bot, you feeling okay there, bud? Okay, it wasn't chat who broke, it was Chaos Bot. Okay, well, we'll just restart it. I gotta figure out what's going on with that one. Knowledge checks determine time to learn or figure out does sound fun. Right? Like, I feel like knowledge checks, there's so much that can be done with them that just isn't. And I think that they're often used in... They're used as like a weird way of problem solving, almost. Like, you roll to determine whether or not you know a thing, and usually knowing a thing like solves all the problems, right? Okay, I rebooted chat, it should work now. Oh, by the way, guys. Oh wait, did I add it to this scene? I did not. Do you guys want to test something for me real quick? I want to see if I fixed it. Go ahead and type !roll. I want to see if I fixed the video files for it. I don't think I did correctly. I didn't have time to test it before stream, so it's probably not working. Okay, it's kind of... You guys can roll dice on the screen. I need to fix the video files. But, okay, at least the function is working. There you guys. Now you guys can roll to know your, to know whatever. Anyways. I don't know, skill checks just in general, I think, are a very interesting tool to be used for role-playing games, and I don't think they're usually used in the best way possible. Again, I'm just a bigger fan of roll less dice, make them more impactful. Would be cool if the dice had a name above them so you know whose dice rolled whose. Oh, that would be good. I wonder... So the problem... Okay. Side tangent for how that's working. The way that the little roll thing is working is... I wrote a little program that whenever you guys do !roll, it chooses a random number and then it plays that video file. So there's 20 video files of the dice rolling a different number and things like that. Chaos is not on. You can't do chaos, sorry. But to have a name appear above them, actually that might not be too difficult. Because you would, in theory... Actually, no, that wouldn't be too hard. Because in theory, all you would do is just put in a single text file that has someone's name. And so whoever rolls the dice... Oh, it wouldn't work for multiple people rolling, though. Unless you made 20 separate files. Which actually, I guess, isn't the worst. Yeah, I don't know. I could do it. What I'm probably going to... I either want to commission this or just find a file. Hey, what's up, Severin? I either want to find a video file or, hey, if one of the animators in chat wants to make it. wink, wink. No, I'm just kidding. Of a dice rolling just statically, and then it's just the number that changes that pops up. That would be easiest. I might even be able to make that. Who knows? Maybe I'll go into Blender after the stream and figure it out. Everything is fine except using VPN for YouTube. Well, I am sorry to hear that. It's not actually just you, Salvador. YouTube is kind of borked right now as well. YouTube is having problems. The back end is not doing great, shall we say. So would you say what you're rolling for first? I might. Okay, that would actually be funny. What if you could do like !roll, and then you did like in brackets, like whatever you would type whatever you wanted, and then so it would say, because I can already capture your username, so it would be so and so rolls for blank, right? So like it could fill in your username and it could fill in the thing that you rolled for in the brackets. That's actually funny. Yeah, no, we could do that. Oh, why's my chair back? Chair, go away. The way I would do it is probably by assigning each dice roll a variable that remembers who activated the command. Oh no, that's the easy part. You could do that. Could you use a chatbot or no? Because I don't know how this works. Yeah. Well, no, I use my own custom stuff, Chili. That's why. Like roll, gamble. Yeah, exactly. You could do stuff like that. I don't know. The roll command is something that I just barely started working on. Because like I said, I want to do more RPG based stuff here on the stream. So I want to I want to add some more fun stuff like that. Anyways, okay, before we get too distracted by the dice rolling command, I should probably finish this up. So let's do that. Okay, we've only got a little bit left. Taking action. It's got a pretty standard action system. There's not too much to go over there. It goes over a little bit of the difficulty stuff and like what you should be rolling. There's some nice art. Ooh, edges and obstacles. I forgot about that. You roll D6s, I believe, to do stuff in this system. So an edge lets you roll 3 systems or 3d6, and so it's a nice simple system to run. There's not a whole lot going on with it, which is fine. But again, I think all the simplicity of actually running the system is definitely counterbalanced by the sheer volume of stuff that's in the system. So I still don't think it's beginner friendly. Also, the way it does combat is kind of annoying. There's attack rolls, there's defensive rolls. The way that damage scales is kind of weird. The way that you recover hit points is interesting. Bro wants to do D&D live. Oh yeah, of course I do. Someday. I'm working on it, Chili. Just not yet. Like there's a lot of. We can kind of gloss over the rest of this. Energy points is also another system you have to keep track of. It's basically like your mana for the game, but used to power abilities. How do you feel about dice pools? I actually like dice pools. Dice pools are fine. In fact, I think one of my favorite dice systems is Blades in the Dark, which we talked about a couple weeks ago, where it's a dice pool system and you're just trying to roll 6s, right? Like 6s are your auto successes, they're your things like that. I like dice pool systems because of how easy it is to determine whether or not you've failed. anytime you're adding modifiers or changing dice, like in this system where you're rolling dice and adding bonuses, or Pathfinder D&D where you're rolling a dice and adding bonuses, there's absolutely nothing wrong with the system. There's a reason why they've been very popular. There's a reason why they work. But dice pool systems, for me, I just kind of like as the most simple and easy way to get into RPGs, because just being able to roll dice and know without checking anything whether or not you failed or succeeded is so nice. That's why I love dice pool systems, is you don't need to know what your modifiers are. You do all of that beforehand. You roll the dice, and just by looking at the dice, you know whether or not you succeed. I feel like that's more like an impactful in the moment type of a feel, because there's not like, oh, I rolled a 17. Is that enough? Here's all my bonuses. It's no, oh, I rolled the 6 that I needed, or I rolled the 5, or I rolled the 10, or, you know, whatever dice you happen to be using. I think that that's why I personally like dice pool systems. There you go. There's Big Eye, Small Mouth. Kind of a bit of an overview. I didn't want to show off too much of the main book, unfortunately, because again, Japanese companies are kind of known for being litigious, and I don't really want to deal with that. So I couldn't show you off the main book. Also, I would have had to censor parts of it anyways. Like I said, there's nothing like super risky in there. It's just stuff that YouTube might not like. Like, oh, the typical anime pose where, oh, she's not wearing a top, but her arms are cross-folded just perfectly to cover her bits. Because it's anime. Or like the, oh, this is just super sexy for no, like, just, it's basically just pinup art. It's like, okay, well then. So anyways, let's go ahead and give it a system, or not a system. Let's go ahead and go back to here, and let's talk about our little rubric here, which I think I need to move over so the shorts people can see it. There we go. Okay, so how difficult? Do you have any stories to regale us with campaigns where I only ran one of these? So unfortunately, I don't have any. I don't have any. It wasn't even a campaign. It was. I think it was 2 sessions, because the players were just not into it. Again, this kind of goes back to how it's a little confusing, both on the GM and the player part. It's the players were not having fun, so we didn't play it for very long. So no stories here, unfortunately. It's a little too there. Okay, so last time we rated all of these based off of beginner, medium, advanced, or expert. So we're just gonna keep doing that. So how difficult do I think this is? I think this is an advanced level RPG. I think that this is not something that I would recommend new people to just come in and play. I feel like there's too many missing parts, or too many moving parts. Unfortunately, like, the ease of the system, again, is just balanced out by the sheer volume of stuff you can pick from and how easy it is to get overwhelmed. I don't think I could recommend this as a first-time player's system of choice, but I do think that it's good enough if you like point-buy systems, if you like being able to build literally any character. I do think it's worth checking out. I mean, obviously I was part of the Kickstarter, so, you know, take that with a grain of salt. With player options, there are many. Oh, I should explain. So for options, tools, and supplemental content, there's few, some, many, and plentiful, I guess, would be the final tier. I don't know what to call the final tier, but there are many player options, as you guys saw. There's almost like too many options, but there are options. If you really want to be able to build any type of character concept you want, this game will let you do it. Player tools. There are some. There's more than I was expecting. Like there's an auto-filled character sheet. There are some online resources to help you build your character. There are forums. There is a community. It's not huge, but it is there. It can help you build your character, come up with ideas, you know, get some help. So it's got some support. DM difficulty, I'm going to go with advanced, just because if the players have tons of options, you're going to be putting in a lot of effort just to try and make sure everything's balanced. Again, with games that have so many options to choose from, it can just be really overwhelming for a GM. So if you do choose to run this or play with it, make sure that you know, try and give your GM some help. Don't make things too difficult on him. Don't build the super hyper min-max characters that are going to make balancing a nightmare. Like, just please don't do that. I can say this as a GM, we all appreciate it when players build characters for a campaign that aren't just super broken in either direction. I really, really appreciate that. And I know if you have a GM who wants to run the system, they would appreciate this too. Supplemental content. There is some, which might sound like not a lot, but some is more than most. A lot of systems, like a lot of the lesser known systems, there's not a lot of supplemental content out here. Like this, just for example, Besim has a dungeon book. It has some player books. It has some multiverse shenanigan books. There's a surprising amount of books for this, and there's a reason why it got to 4th edition. Currently, I would not be surprised if there's another edition in the future. So there's stuff to go around with. A campaign length, I think you can do any for this. You could start off as super underpowered and spend months, you know, building up, gathering points, becoming overpowered by the end of the campaign. Or you could start super powered and do it like a one shot. There really isn't any limit on what you can do here. It's more just a limit on your own creativity or your GM's creativity and how long they actually want to be running this game for. So overall, for my personal enjoyment, this is just purely subjective. There is no rhyme or reason why I'm assigning this. I'd say this is a solid, 6 out of 10 game. It's better than average. It's not one that I would go to frequently and play often, but it's something that I am down to try and do every once in a while because it is interesting. It's got some good stuff going for it. In my opinion, worth picking it up, worth trying out, but your mileage may vary. Also, unfortunately, it does not have the biggest community. It does have one, but good luck finding someone to actually play this because it's gonna be rough. Instead of the meme format with the water pipeline going to the DM's mouth, the other systems die of thirst. Yeah. It's a good break from your norm. Okay, that's the best way of putting it. Forsaken. It's a good break from the norm. This would actually be an excellent game if you got an experienced group of role players. You want to just try something for a few sessions just to break up, D&D, break up Pathfinder, break up whatever. Just, have fun for a few sessions, and then when people aren't feeling it, you go back to your normal system. I don't think you're going to run into too many people who are going to use this as their long-term, we've been playing this campaign for 2 years kind of a system. I just don't think that's going to happen. But good for a little while. And there you go. That's the Big Eyes Small Mouth breakdown of should you play it. Here's our pros and cons again. Not that that's super great. I think it's worth trying. I think it's worth taking a look at, but your mileage will vary. So just keep that in mind. Blank's on to something though with that rat game. I might have to make a rat game. That sounds so funny. Oh, and not only do I own the PDFs, but I don't know if you can hear this. This is the physical book. The physical book actually looks way better than the online stuff does. I don't know why, but the online stuff makes it look so cheap. But then the actual book looks really nice. Oh gosh, I just got flashbanged by my anime book. Good lord. So good. Got some nice artwork in here too. I'll get to workshopping a campaign name. The rat game though. Rat game sounds funny. Rat game sounds awesome. But there you guys go. That's Big Eye Small Mouth. Like I said, I knew it was probably going to be a little bit of a shorter stream today just because there's not as much going on with it. We're now moving into our section of the Should You Plays that are going to be looking at some really obscure games. We might actually be doing two systems next week that are both small and short. So we're gonna get wacky. If there's any like unhinged systems or systems that you think I should know about that you guys want me to take a look at, please just message me. I've already got a list of things like Lancer, Numenera's on that list, Thirsty Sword Fighting Lesbians, Shadowrun. You know, like I've got a big list, but there's so many games out there, and there's so many of them that are just fun little things that would be really fun to look at and talk about on stream. If you've got ideas, let me know. So, we're probably gonna go ahead and call it there. And candles, I'll add that to the list. And members, I will see you tomorrow. Everyone else, I'll see you on Tuesday. And potentially, like I said, I think there's an event I'm a part of next week. I will ask about it. If I just am randomly streaming on Sunday, that's why. But we'll be back here on Tuesday, then again on Saturday for another Should You Play. Or not Tuesday, Wednesday. We'll be back on Wednesday for Monster of the Week. So if you want to see me theorycraft and design monsters, that's what Wednesday is for. We'll be back here next week on Saturday with another Should You Play. And as a reminder for anyone, because we've had a lot of people who've come back who haven't been here in a while, members are going to get a PDF at the end of every month. We're trying this thing out. This is the first month we're doing it. But on every Wednesday stream, we're making monsters, and then I'm formatting them into a PDF. Doom, thank you so much for becoming a Bite Buddy. I really, really appreciate that. But members are going to be getting a PDF of all the monsters that we have made, and I will also be putting that up on Drive Through RPG for like $1, maybe, probably just free, honestly. I don't know. But members will get it first, and it'll be all the monsters we made for Pathfinder 2nd Edition, and we'll be doing that every month. And then who knows, maybe at the end of the year we have like a super book that has all of them. Currently we're up to, we designed like 8 monsters already so far for this month, so, which is more than I thought we would. But that's what we're doing now, is Wednesday streams are monster design streams, Saturday streams are Should You Play streams. And if we do other streams throughout the week, it'll be random stuff, whether it's events, just hanging out, chilling, talking like that. But once again, thank you to all the members who have continued membership. I really, really appreciate it. Kind of keeping the lights on when it comes to some of the projects I have in the background, which you will see soon, finally. And as always, thank you guys for watching. And let me see if any of my friends are on to raid. I kind of doubt it. No one's ever on at this time. My friends don't believe in waking up early. Zero, thank you so much for the gifted membership. I really appreciate that. Thank you, thank you. You know what? We're gonna send you guys over to Mint, who is doing Jedi shenanigans. Because Mint's a member of the community, and why not? So thanks for hanging out, everyone. I will see you all later, and I hope you have a wonderful rest of your day. Thank you again, Doom and Zero, for the memberships. Bye-bye! Oh, timestamps will be up on the video right after the stream ends. Goodbye.